Okay. All right. Uh, Travis Carper, Ascension Guide, Holistic Health Coach. Today, I want to talk about cognitive dissonance and deprogramming, and I'm going to read from the recent article that I wrote and blog that I put up on my website, and posted it to some of the Facebook groups like the Ascension Symptoms groups and holistic healers and stuff. I'm going to read from Alchemical Wizard 12, Spiritual Psychology, Purging and Clearing Social Conditioning / Cultural Transference and Belief Systems. So I'm pretty sure at some point there's going to be an actual, the dominoes have been falling, of course, but there should be at some point a actual, public should, see something come to light, like a domino for the public, for the regular masses. Right now, also, today, because I'm feeling it, my biological body, my avatar, my temple, my vehicle is feeling. Today there was almost a 5 hour. There's a 3 pulse, 3 photonic wave pulse between 1:45, I'd say, today, and about 6:45, which is almost about a 5 hour wave today, and that's how they're doing. Our benevolent star families are out there, and they are buffering this energy because it would probably incinerate our biological body if we just let the sun come in through the plasma and the gamma ray, the adamantine particle, God particle, come in, the photonic waves come in. It would, because it's changing on a natural scale. It's changing that whole morphogenetic field, our electromagnetics, right? It's changing our electromagnetics. It's changing our RNA, is helping the DNA restructure itself so that we can it raises the vibration inside your biological body so that you can hold more light, energy, light. Okay, let's just read read from this, shall we? Okay, let's talk about social conditioning, cultural transference, and our belief systems, and how it trains us to have certain beliefs, behaviors, desires, and emotional reactions. So in childhood, it starts with the handed down surface knowledge from our parents, teachers, churches, books, all forms of media with ads, etc. And who paid for it? This is when critical and free thinking become hindered. As an example, let's just look at refined sugar, the refined sugar industry. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of the many rewrites of the Christian Bible, like after the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great, and I think it was his or something, the Aryan Party back then, or after the ransack of the Library of Alexandria in Egypt, how the Romans ransacked that, and then now all the ancient knowledge is hidden in the basement of the Vatican. A lot of places like that are, probably underneath the Smithsonian too. There's a lot of hidden stuff. All different libraries and stuff around the world kind of are, places. There's hidden knowledge. So, anyways, forget. But for now, let's just go down the refined sugar as an example, okay? Let's just do that. Refined sugar comes from sugarcane or sugar beets, which are processed to extract the sugar. It is typically found as sucrose, which is the combination of glucose and fructose. We use white and brown sugars to sweeten cakes and cookies, coffee, cereal, and even fruit. Food manufacturers add chemically produced sugar, typically high fructose corn syrup, to foods and beverages, including crackers, flavored yogurt, tomato sauce, salad dressing, soda drinks, energy drinks. Low-fat foods are the worst, as manufacturers use the sugar to add to the flavor. Cane sugar beets get a high pressurized cooked until there's like no minerals or vitamins left in that. Like the cane sugar, it's like a plant, right? And they high pressurized cook the thing. It's kind of like microwaving. You shouldn't microwave because it just destroys the nutrients inside of whatever food you put in the microwave. So it's the same thing. It's like it's killing and all you have left is like that crack. All you have left is that sugar that is, let's read, it's refined starch and carbohydrates, which becomes pyruvic acid. The pyruvic acid accumulates in the brain and the nervous system and abnormal sugars in the red blood cells. So it becomes like this type of, whatever, a sugar crack, whatever, right? These toxic metabolites interfere with the respiration of cells. They cannot get sufficient oxygen, and that's what I always talk about. You want to oxygenate your body, all your cells. That's what pushes out the toxins and the out of your body when you oxygenate, and it helps you regenerate your cellular structure. So because there's so many toxics and heavy metals and fluoride and all these other things that we come into contact with, even through our skin, that it becomes a degenerative degenerative on your cellular structure. Anyways, so the sugar, the refined sugar, I must say, to survive and function normally. In time, some of the cells die. That's what we were just talking about. This interferes with a major function in the biological body and is the beginning of degenerative disease. So everyday eating of this refined sugar causes acidity, which in turn the biological body has to take minerals such as calcium from your bones and your teeth. That's why when you're doing sugar, it's not the sugar on your teeth. You think, oh, it's rotting my teeth. No, it's the actual refined sugar that is taking the calcium from your bones and your teeth. Now think about eating that candy ice cream jelly imitation pancake syrup as a kid. I know I did it. Okay, so not until I grew up and did my own research and had to dig deeper and actively changed my diet did my perception of Willy Wonka, in parentheses here, the Nestle family, the Coca-Cola dynasty, the Mars family, look into that, change. So another cultural transference shattered. So, because right, you get this, oh, it's so happy, candy, and da-da-da-da. Little do you know along with so many others that I had been taught to believe. Now, not every transference is dark and evil. Although in the refined sugar case, it is profitable and can lead to a darker agenda. It may not have even started out that way, but corruption and service to self has had its addictive desires, qualities, and behaviors, which become agreements of entrapment through our own belief systems. So you're just still going to the store, you're getting your candy, you don't really understand the ingredients, you don't really know what's going on. It's a handed down thing, right? But that's part of your subconsciously, you're just agreeing to have that contract with these people that are making, although we can't point fingers and stuff because we all, in fact, I kind of wanted to talk about that somebody like pointing fingers at, let's say Trump did dealings with the Rothschilds or the Illuminati, right? Well, in actuality, we all make deals because our toothbrush is made out of a polymer, which is made out of oil, which who owns the oil companies? So basically you're dealing with stuff yourself. So you can't really point fingers. You can disagree with people and everybody has their own perspective and filter they're going through. But we can't even point fingers at the families like the Rothschilds or Pacers because they have been down a long bloodline of being taught whatever they're into. Let's say they're Luciferian or Satanic. Well, you know, they're into that. So we're going to have to figure out how to reprogram them if possible. And that's what I'm conveying, or hopefully you guys are considering, is turning off the TV, of course, and getting out in nature, because nature is, and Gaia is at its own natural rhythm with the cosmos, and that these photonic waves and the energies coming in to uplift us, specifically, once you get engaged with it and clean up even your emotional or your mental body, which we're talking about, is deprogramming yourself and trying to reprogram yourself and with love and confidence, self-empowerment, so that you don't have that fear-based old agenda running that program. Okay, let's read on. Not until I actually sat on a mountain meditating and water fasting in 1989 did I really begin, this is just an example, did I really begin purging and clearing some of the social conditioning and beliefs that had been handed down. Now, don't get me wrong here. I still love a good raw dark chocolate bar or some local honey. I just want to know where it comes from. But through that one spiritual practice, the meditation and the water fasting, I could see more clearly. That is one instance of a lifelong unraveling of truth just by going within oneself. That becomes the beginning point, or even the 0 point of clearing and purging our own social conditioning. So that's why I always talk about going out in nature, meditating, and getting inside of your own to listen, to really listen, and listen to your heart, your high heart toric field, instead of your, and then you can listen to your heart first, this brain, and then listen to the logical brain up here. And now this is after you're kind of purifying your body so that you do have good cognitive abilities. Okay? Take into context an entire planet for consideration. We have all been slaves in one form or another, and even worse, pitted against each other. We know a few bloodline families own this world and rule with a negative agenda. Deeper still are the Anunnaki hybrids or the malevolent ET races that started this service to self addiction. We are in the linear timeline when we all should stand up and shout out, we are sovereign, we are free. The old dark paradigm is fading, and now we understand a way to be with more light. We are shifting gears. We are in the ascension process, which is part of a larger ascension cycle. Okay, consider this. This is a free will universe. So how do you go about doing, let's say, Luciferian acts or service to self, crazy, corruptible things? How do you tell people what you are doing right out in the open. Well, you own Hollywood and the media corporations, so you can make movies and television shows about exactly what you are doing. Then we, the people, most of us, would make a decision, usually without any kind of discernment, or me as well, whether or not we agree with it. And that becomes the entrapment contract subconsciously. So basically, we've been writing all these contracts and letting the world kind of arc into this negative agenda because we're not awake enough. We're not using our cognitive ability. Oh, well, I mean, there are people, and they usually get killed, that are fighting the establishment. Free thinkers. Free thinkers. Critical thinkers. Okay. Where was I? So we usually shrug it off because we're told, cultural transference, we're told it's just fiction, although we know that exists. Like, we know that there's all these spies and people selling weapons and drugs and body parts and just crazy things going on, have been going on, and they even told us about it in movies and stuff. I mean, so that's how they get it across, and then we just kind of shuffle it and agree with it. Okay? So, such as Deep State, Illuminati, Rothschilds, Pacers, Global Satanists, Cabals, etc. Further back, Anunnaki. You can go into that and all those rabbit holes. But the linear time of service to self is over. It cannot sustain itself any longer because we have already been down that dark road before. See, we've had this experience, and for me, I'm going to just talk about me. It's very humbling, and because my compassion level goes way up, and it's almost like the other day I had a meditation and I went to tears because I had the realization of being through such darkness and coming out into the light and having such appreciation. I think I've talked about this before. It's like having the silver platter. Here, you're an omnipotent being. You're not going to know anything unless you have those experiences. Sure, maybe this one got a little out of hand. But anyways, regardless, here we go. Next. Light's pushing darkness to the surface, and the cleanup has begun. Yes. Things are good. Things are optimistic. They're looking very good. So how do we purge and clear these embedded emotional attachments from handed down belief systems? Okay? So how do we get away from the fear and violent programming and that whole fear propaganda? Even through all the different religious books and stuff that were rewritten, it's more of a they turn it into like a fear-based thing. Well, let's make God separate and then fear kind of a little bit. And, oh, judgment. Oh, well, you're your own judge because you are God. You are a co-creator. This whole thing I've already talked about it before. And let's move on to this. So how do we purge and clear these embedded emotional attachments from handed down belief systems? Number one, well, we start by going within. Meditation is the spiritual tool that unlocks all mysteries, especially in this now timeline. We can start to anchor in higher frequencies. So also I wanted to say that the photonic waves that are coming in are because every energy is conscious, everything is conscious energy, right? And these light and the adamantine particle, the God particle, right? And you are those particles too. You're in this form, you're in a human form, and they are specifically tailored for each of us. That is what's so fracking amazing, man. I almost swore. I mean, it is unbelievable because if you're resonating at a certain frequency because of your own consciousness, right? And that conscious energy comes in, you will be able to feel it, and everybody's going to have a different wake up time and a different flow through, even though the same wave comes in, but everybody's going to feel it differently because of where they're at with their biological body, their etheric body, and then their, what they call it, the causal body, or your aura, your which I call your or your bioelectrics, your morphogenetic field. This is the bigger field that's out here, right? You have your light, and then that becomes your light body and your light signature, because your aura has colors, certain colors, and that's where you resonate. In fact, that's your name, basically. Your name is just the colors of your aura. You're a multi-dimensional light being. Number 2, we can consciously state out loud that we are free and sovereign beings. So you consciously, you say it, or you write it down, you say it. You say, I am a free and sovereign being. That is breaking contracts, and so breaking the karmic contract too, so that you don't have to come back here. You're saying, okay, that was a great experience, thank you, but I'm moving on. Number 3, we can take charge of our health by doing our own research, putting together a trusted team. Then our biological body and our endocrine and brain system can then start to use its critical thinking, logic, discernment. See, that's why I always talk about the nutritional and supplemental and exercise and the meditation and the for your cleaning up your biological body, your avatar, so that it really helps you make more logical, critical thinking and discernment, where even when you see, you can kind of call BS on certain articles, certain video news things or whatever, but you can make up, you make up your own program by kind of stepping away and being more of an observer once in a while with the negative agenda. You see what I'm saying? Are you guys kind of, am I relating this? Are you seeing that picture? These are things that, I mean, I remember in even in high school, working and remembering somebody said something, oh, the Trilateral Commission. I'm like, what is that? And I'm started getting into, well, who are the Rockefellers and why is all this? Why are only a few families rich? The Carnegies and the Mellons and the and the Rockefellers and the, all of these people, and how it, yeah. Anyways, so critical thinking. I don't know where I was going with that. 4, flexibility and non-judgment from a place of sacred neutrality, when you realize everything is conscious creation. 5, when the emotions boil up inside you, you can journal, exercise, paint, creative therapy, sleep when you need that rest. Get in tune with your biological body so you know when to rest. Sleep and let the unconscious mind help heal and bring it to the surface. 6, sit in silence and realize you are your own savior, which becomes self-empowerment. I am no longer the victim or victimizer. 7, get outside in nature, away from TV and ads and mainstream news, and create your own headlines. Like, man, it's so beautiful out here, campers. Or, this is going to be a great day today. I'm gonna breathe from my diaphragm as much as possible today, which oxygenates my cells and will give me better cognitive thinking skills. 8, use radical forgiveness. I think radical forgiveness is more transpersonal psychology, spiritual psychology. Not only to forgive others, but to forgive ourselves. Now remember, there are things that you don't even know that you personally do too. So try to, and if you do and they come up, go forgive yourself for it, because most of the time we're just ignorant of the things that we We do. So then when they come up to the surface, recognize some of the darker, shadowy things that you've done too, or you do. And try not to, you know, point fingers and judge other people, because there's no sense in it, actually. There's no logic to it, really, honestly. I mean, yeah, if somebody does something really super evil, well, there's probably a reason why they did that. When they were a kid, did they get abused? You know, what was their program that they were running? So you have to go a bit deeper onto things, and yeah, if people are beyond, we'll have to throw them in jail. Yes, there's probably going to be the military tribunals here pretty soon. That's why we're trying to go through this right now, because some of the dominoes that are going to happen, people are going to go, what's going on? Cognitive dissonance. You know, I don't get it. What? They're just, you know, it's going to be civil unrest. So, and they're not going to understand probably what the money changeover too. And then there's all this other infrastructure that's ready to go. It's not like everything's just going to completely collapse, because we've been building these other infrastructures. There's things that are sitting on shelves too. There's free energy. There's the economic structure, Nasara, Jasara, which you can dig into that more deeply, because it's more than just the currencies reset to the gold standard. There's a whole thing going on with that. Like, there's a whole another economic structure to go. So, and there'll be less government too. So, as we're getting rid of the IRS and the Federal Reserve, right? Because who owns that bank? You know, the few families that own those banks. And they were just, so basically we're just incorporated, USA Incorporated, really, because we're borrowing money from that bank, and we don't even have, that's not even our bank. That's not even a government bank. That's not a US republic. So anyways, all that's got to change. And it is. That's what I'm saying. So as soon as that domino, that's why we're reading this. Okay, holding on to resentment and anger can manifest in itself in the biological body, as well as deconstructive emotions. So that was on that last one, to radical forgiveness. Number 8, radical forgiveness. So these are some of the things that we can do to purge and clear social conditioning and cultural transference, and some of these belief systems that we've put into place. And I say we, you know, I know I'm a part of it too. My tennis shoes right now, that's, you know, that's oil. These are polymers and stuff. So I'm a part of this system that I'm trying to break free from, which, I mean, you know, sure, we should make everything out of industrial hemp, you know, but anyways, so these are some of the things that you can do when you're starting to go, what, you know, like if you're having the cognitive dissonance, okay? So blessings, everyone. Please stay hydrated, my friends. Stay hydrated, my friends. So there's a lot more of the blogs and videos and stuff, and sometimes I just put the article with the computer voice too up on YouTube so that you can just listen to it. But if you want to read the blogs too. Sometimes it's better to read than to hear me off on all my tangents. I think that's what I wanted to say. Removing the blockages from our avatars, because these mental belief systems, you know, these things that have been handed down, they can block certain areas, your chakras, your light centers, you know, in your body. So they're kind of stuck in here. So you kind of have to free yourself. You have to reprogram yourself. You have to detoxify yourself. That just happens to be what's going on right now. And naturally, it's happening naturally with the support of God, of Source, or of yourself, of your consciousness and the cosmic consciousness, because it's all tied together. It's the same kind of conscious fractal, and these photonic waves that are coming in to uplift you. So it's helping your blockages. So if you have your awakening, if you have your Kundalini awakening or your starseed activation or your photonic multi-dimensional light awakening, whatever you guys want to call it, you know, because there's just different terms through the ages. We can different descriptions for things. And once you start having that and these waves come in, you can feel them. Like for about the last 2 days, I was down, basically couldn't get out of bed. So I'm feeling these photonic waves quite heavily. So I'm putting the chlorophyll in my water, my structured water, and I'm just drinking it all day long. And plus I'm doing these crazy smoothies with extra vitamin C, zinc. I'm taking some colloidal silver. I'm doing some immune boosting mushrooms. I've got the maitake, shiitake, reishi mushroom, turkey tail. I'm doing those boosters. I'm doing the minerals. I'm doing trace minerals, and I'm actually taking shilajit, that Himalayan, I want to say like peat moss, or you know, from the bog, or I don't know, I guess there's a lot of minerals in that. Taking that too. Well, I'll make another video about all the things that I go over to boost up my immune system for these waves, okay? I'll just go through them because I know I've done all the alchemical wizards on each specific categories, but we'll do one where I just show you the stuff that I do, okay? Stay in there, guys. This is, you don't want to miss this. This is like, the world is changing, and for the better, and it's a great time to be alive, to have these realizations. So I hope that that's helps, and you guys can have some of those realizations too. Go sit on a hillside or a mountain or out in nature or in your backyard and just meditate. It helps me.